Hey everyone, welcome back to Homegrown Passion. Well, it's a cold day outside. We got a little bit of snow out there and a little bit of sun coming through, and the combination makes it nice and bright here in the greenhouse. So I've been washing channels, daily thing you have to do. So I thought I'd take some time away from that and show you some of the other things we've got going on. We got the tomatoes in the Bato buckets and getting them clipped up. And I'm going to show you planting my green beans and how I do it the first time in the new growing medium. It's a little different than what I showed you last year. I'm planting the green beans, and again, the cultivar I'm using is Vortex. So stay tuned and we'll show you some different things going on here in the greenhouse. So I'm sitting here in the Bato bucket area. I guess that's what I'm going to call it from now on, so you guys know the different places of the greenhouse. So you can see Doug's got the bobbins hung up and the strings coming down to the tomato plants, and getting them trained right away. It just makes it so much easier if they're standing straight up and the stalks get nice and thick all the way through, so when you go to lean and lower you don't have any cracks in the stalks as you go through. And then he's also got the cucumbers done. They were kind of fallen over a little bit, so what he does is he makes them as straight as possible and then puts the clip on them, and as they grow they'll go up. So these guys are a little bit behind because I didn't have the nutrients mixed in the control tunnel with the Dosatron system, so they were getting the lettuce formula, but I was hand watering them, so they weren't too happy. But just in 12 hours since we hooked up the Dosatron system, these guys look so much happier. The leaves are getting greener, and we got the lights going, so it's making a big difference here. So I'm really looking forward to a nice crop. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of information about how Doug has the lights program. They come on at 6 o'clock in the morning and they go off at 9 o'clock at night. And he doesn't have them at 100%, he has them at 60%. And then if the sunshine does come out and the greenhouse heats up and we get a lot of the sun in here, they dim down to 20%. And the reason that it can do that is there's temperature sensors up by the lights. So if it gets up to 85 degrees, it knows to dim the lights down to the 20%. So we're not wasting electricity and lighting up an area when the sunshine's already doing it for us. Kind of cool. I'm getting ready to do my green beans over here in the Bato buckets. You guys know I always use Vortex as my green beans. They always grow about 12 inches long, and they're a really good seller at the farm market. So I got brand new growing medium in my Bato buckets this year, like I do every year. A lot of times I will use the medium over again 3 or 4 times for green beans, but since this is a brand new time and it's so nice and loose in here, you know how seeds like to be compacted in the soil, I'm going to go ahead and do something a little bit different, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So like I start most of my plants in the nursery channels, green beans I'm doing a little bit different, even though I'm going to be using my Oasis cubes here. I'm going to get these all wet, stick my green bean seed into them, and then I'm going to plant them into the Bato buckets. This way the green bean, like I said, will feel like it's in part of a soil, and it'll keep the moisture around the seeds and make sure it doesn't dry out there in the vermiculite perlite mixture that I have in there. This is what I'm going to do with the beans. I'm going to take my Oasis cubes, get them wetted down, and then break them apart into individual cubes and put the seed in and stick it into the Bato bucket. And the reason I like to do the Oasis cubes is to keep the seed nice and moist, because it is a brand new Bato bucket, brand new medium in there. It's not all compacted, and so this way the seed will stay moist, germinate, and we'll have a good crop. So I have my nutrient water here, got my Oasis cubes. I'm going to get it all nice and wet, and the reason being is that the seed will germinate better if it's inside the Oasis cube and keep the moisture around it, because this is new grown medium in the Bato buckets. It's not going to retain the water as it would with the older stuff that has all the older roots in there to keep them moist. So I'm just going to get this all nice and wet and make sure, they're thoroughly soaked through. You can tell there's no light colors here. And I'm just going to break them apart. Goes there, and get my seeds out, and I'm going to put 1 seed into each cube and put 4 cubes into the Bato bucket, like I said. Oops. Now from years past, I used to put 5 or 6 in, and I found that the least you can put in there is 4 to get a really good area for the plants to grow, and it's not too hard to harvest them. So get them all in there, pat them down, and they should germinate in about 5 days. You guys can probably hear the clicking in the background. It's the electric fencer, so just kind of ignore it. So here's our Dosatron system set up for the tomatoes and the cucumbers. Doug has all the nutrients in the blue barrels here. We got the A and B and the pH adjust. He's got the 3 Dosatrons for that. And we have our Bluelab Guardian here, and you can tell the numbers aren't quite perfect yet. Got to adjust them a little bit here. So he wants this to be at 2.0, which is perfect, okay. But the pH we want it at 6.2, and it's a little high at 7.0. So we got to do a little bit more pH adjust. And then we have the timers up there. And since it's winter time and we don't have the bright sunshine, I think right now they're coming on every 50 minutes for like 50 seconds. But in the summertime, you know, you have to adjust that to have it come on more often and a little bit longer. And your plants will tell you what they need, if they're getting too much or not enough. So Doug didn't get to decide yet to take down the old bobbins, so I'm going to help him out here a little bit so we can get, oh, this guy's hard to do, get these guys out of here and get the new ones in. I do recycle them. We'll sanitize them. But, well, since I'm short, I have to go up higher on the ladder here. But once I get these down and get the new ones in, I'll get some clips and get these guys clipped up. Since I have my tomatoes in so much earlier this year, we're keeping the greenhouse a little bit warmer, which is kind of hard to get used to, but it's at 77 degrees right now here on the wall. It's a little bit warmer here than out in the middle of the greenhouse because the heaters are right above me, but you can tell it's a little bit warm in here. So even though we're keeping a little bit warmer in the greenhouse, my other leafy greens are still quite happy. So here's a little bit of an update what I have grown in the nursery channels here. Here I have dandelions. This is Chloe. It's an Italian dandelion. Here I have Swiss chard, which is charbel, and then I have endive here. So I thought I'd take you guys through the greenhouse and give you a quick update of what we have growing here. Here is Hans Tai, and this will be ready in 2 weeks. Down here I have Chinook, which will be ready in 4 weeks, and it's a chrysanthemum green, and to me it smells like carrots and tastes like carrots. Here's all my spinach I germinated. Look how nice that's looking. And behind me here I have the kohlrabi. So over here, this is being harvested tomorrow. This is Rosie, which is the red Carlton, which is another Asian green. You can tell how nice and red it is. Over here again is the charbel, the Swiss chard. This should be ready in about 4 weeks. And then down farther here, I have some little wren, which is the mini bok choice. So here's the little wren, and look how beautiful these guys are. Each one of these cubes is going to go into a bag. It'll be 1 serving. And they're just starting to develop their nice little head there. So let me show you what we're growing for us here at the end of December. This is a butter lettuce, and with the short days and the low light, they really don't form a head, but they still taste really good. So I just pick a couple of them and make a nice salad out of it. Just use it like a leafy green. I do have some romaines here, so I think on Christmas I'm going to do a Caesar salad. I have another, I forget the cultivar, this one, another fancy lettuce here, and then some more of the butter lettuce. So you guys are probably looking at me thinking, not too many people vacuum the greenhouse, but I do. Happen to have this HEPA-Vac that Doug had left over from his mold remediation business, so he let me have it. And it does a wonderful job because it picks up everything and doesn't spill out any pathogens. So I thought, you know, since everything's little and nothing's being leaned in lower right now, and I spilled tons of perlite over when I was planting everything, I might as well get it vacuumed up now and start off with a clean slate. So I'm sure your families are just like my family. Anywhere from November to December, end of the year, everybody wants comfort food. Everybody wants the chili, the meat and potatoes, wings, hearty soups and that. And then after the first of the year, it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta start eating nutritious again. So after I get done planting my beans, I am going to start setting up a new system for microgreens. And I'm going to get some different channels in there and try different sizes and different configurations of it. So I'll take you through that on a video to show you what I'm doing and experimenting with, and hopefully everything is a good pass and no fails. So you never know what's going to happen. So I hope you liked today's video, and like always, Leave me any questions, comments, or suggestions down below, and we'll see you guys next time.